We have started our unit on solving quadratics. We have learned how to graph. There are 4 different ways to solve: graphing, square roots, factoring, completing the square, and quadratic formula. I just said 5 different ways. Square roots goes with completing the square. Today we're going to talk about factoring. Quadratic equations can be solved by factoring as well. Use the problems below to refresh your factoring skills. Step 1 is always to factor out the greatest common factor if there is one. So what's the first step? GCF. What's the first step? GCF. Yes. What's the first step? Okay. All right, so you should always look for a GCF first. You can see I already have 1 and 2 done for you. Number 1, 12K minus 18. Look at both terms and see the greatest common factor is the highest number that you can factor out of both terms. So you're dividing both terms by 6. 12K divided by 6 is 2K. Negative 18 divided by 6 is negative 3. Put your greatest common factor on the outside, and then the rest of what you have left after you have factored that 6 out goes in parentheses. Number 2, look at both terms. Look at the numbers first. What number is the highest number you can factor out of 40 and 64? 8, yes. For the variables, look at each variable separately. X to the 8th and x to the 4th. Use the lowest exponent, because I can't divide x to the 8th out of x to the 4th, but I can divide x to the 4th out of x to the 8th. So you're going to use the lower exponent. And then you have a y to the first, y to the first, so just use that y to the first. You're dividing both terms by 8x to the 4th y. So if I take 40x to the 8th y and divide by 8x to the 4th y, what do I get? 40 divided by 8 is 5. X to the 8th divided by x to the 4th. Subtract the exponents, and then the y's cancel. So that's where this term comes from. So you write your greatest common factor on the outside, divide what you have left for that first division, goes there, and then divide the second. Divide it into the second term. 64x to the 4th y divided by 8x to the 4th y is just 8. That's where that comes from. Number 3, what is the greatest common factor? Look at all 3 terms. What number can I divide out of all 3 terms? Oh, 7, and then we also have an m in all 3 terms. Use the lowest exponent. So m squared is the lowest exponent. Now divide that into each of the 3 terms. 14m to the 6th divided by 7m squared is 2m to the 4th, because 6 minus 2 is 4. Negative 35m cubed divided by 7m squared is negative 5m. And then the last one, negative 7m squared divided by 7m squared is negative 1. All right, so that's just factoring out the greatest common factor. But to factor completely, I need to continue factoring this part. And to solve, you're going to set it equal to 0 and solve for the variable. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. For this first part, we're just factoring out the greatest common factor. Look at number 4. Is there a number that will go into 3, -5, and 8? No. So we're just going to use A, B. Because for the A's, we have A squared, and A. Use the lowest exponent. A to the first is the lowest exponent out of all 3 of those. And then look at the B's. We have B squared, B, and B. So B to the first is the lowest exponent. Now you're dividing each term by AB, and what you have left goes inside the parentheses. 3AB squared divided by AB is 3B. -5A squared B divided by AB is -5A. And then 8AB divided by AB is just 8. Write down each. Work it out like this for each one if you have to. Write it all out if you have to. Each term is being divided by AB. So when factoring, always look for a GCF first. When you have a trinomial, what is a trinomial? 3 terms. And A is equal to 1. This is how we factor. Set up 2 sets of parentheses. The first 2 terms multiply to give you x squared. The last 2 terms will multiply to give you 45 and add to give you 14. So they multiply to give you the last term and add to give you the middle term. So whatever we're putting here has to multiply to give me 45. What are the factors of 45? List the factors of 45 to tell you, that tells you what your choices will be here. All right. 9 and 5 will also add to give me 14. So that has to be, those have to be the factors. Plus 5, plus 9. To actually solve and find the solutions, you're going to set them equal to 0 and solve for x. So if I subtract 5, x will be -5. If I subtract 9, x will be -9. The solutions are always the opposite of what's in your parentheses. I know w times w is going to give me w squared. What can I multiply to get 26 and add to get -15? List the factors of 26 for your possibilities. These 2 factors have to multiply to give me 26 and add to give me -15. So what are my possibilities? It's going to be 2 and 13 because 26 and 1, you cannot add or subtract those to get -15. If I use 2 and 13, what do my signs have to be? -2 and -13. Because this is -15 and this is a +26, this plus sign tells me that both signs are going to be the same. This sign tells me that they're both going to be negative. The solutions are the opposite. Set up your two sets of parentheses. The first two terms multiply to give you c squared. The last two terms are going to multiply to give me negative 48 and add to give me positive 2. List the factors of 48 to tell what the possibilities are. Which two can I add or subtract to get positive 2 in the middle? 6 and 8. Which one needs to be positive? Which one needs to be negative?
8 needs to be positive. And then
That's correct. This sign will always go with the larger number. And my solutions are the opposite of what's inside my parentheses. If you set them equal to 0 and solve, you can see that. Set up your two sets of parentheses. The first two terms will give me n squared. The last two terms have to multiply to give me negative 72 and add to give me negative 1. List the factors of 72 to tell what your possibilities are. I'm going to show you how to get the exhaustive list on your calculator also, so you know when to stop finding factors. Say it again.
that would be helpful.
Yeah. So with 72, you go 72 divided by 1. If you get a whole number, those two numbers are factors, 1 and 72. 72 divided by 2. 2 and 36 are factors. 72 divided by 3. 3 and 24 are factors. 72 divided by 4. 4 and 18 are factors. 72 divided by 5. If you get a decimal, those are not factors. 72 divided by 6 is 12. 6 and 12 are factors. So go in order, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 8, yes, 8 and 9. 72 divided by 9 is 8. Once they start repeating, you know you have them all. So 8 and 9 repeats as 9 and 8. So I'm done. That's it. That's the last set of factors. All right, so which two can I add or subtract to get negative 1? Yes. Negative 9, positive 8. It doesn't matter if you put positive 8 here and negative 9 there. It doesn't matter which set of parentheses you put it in. But when you have a minus at the end, this sign is going to go with the larger number. Over here, the plus sign went with 8 because it's bigger than 6. Over here, the minus sign goes with 9 because it's bigger than 8. When there's a minus at the back and a minus at the end, the first sign goes with the larger number. When there's a minus at the end, the first sign goes with the larger number. And my solutions are the opposite of what's inside my parentheses. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
It's easy when they're both plus, because what does that mean?
Each full positive.
My answers will both be positive. So the first two terms multiply to give me A. The last two terms, multiply to give me 36 and add to give me 12. What are the factors of 36? Which two can I add or subtract to get 12? 6 and 6, and they are both positive. So if you have the same thing twice, you only have to write the solution one time. There are only two numbers that I can multiply together to get 1. What are they? 1. 1 and 1, right? And they both need to be negative. If you have a plus at the end, this sign will take this, both factors will take this sign. And if they are the same, you just have one. You only have to write the solution one time. Number 11. What's the first step? What's the first step? GCF. What's the first step? GCF. All right, number 11. What's the first step? What is the GCF? 2. I have to factor out a 2 before I can find my two binomials. 2k squared divided by 2 is k squared. Negative 16k divided by 2 is negative 8k. And negative 40 divided by 2 is negative 20. I have to continue factoring now. What is the factorization? What can I multiply to get 20 and add to get 8? What are the factors of 20? Which two can I add or subtract to get negative 8? Negative 10, positive 2. This number always takes the sign of the larger number. Negative 10, positive 2. What are my solutions? The opposite of what's in your parentheses. Number 12, what's the first step? That's right, GCF first. What's the GCF? Divide everything by 5. Continue factoring. What can I multiply to get 6 and add to get negative 5? What are the factors of 6? Yes, negative 2, negative 3. So what are my solutions? The opposite of what's in my parentheses. Why is it negative 2 and negative 3 and not negative 6, positive 1? Because this sign right here tells me that both signs have to be negative. All right, the next section is where A is greater than 1. So after we find the greatest common factor, if we still have a number in front of x squared, we have to use a special method called bottoms up factoring. And I have a little sheet for you that has all the directions written out in detail for bottoms up factoring.
I'll pass it back, please. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember factoring?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Quadratics and factoring?
Remember when I go and tech time?
What?
Well, I do that. I'm factoring. It's so long.
You won't do that now.
It's like when we add like the extra steps, like I should walk and it's unhappy. But right now it's easy.
Yeah. I have to find you now. Can I remind me after this? All right, so I'm going to show you an example here. Number 13. What's the first step? Do we have a GCF? No. So then I need to go to my bottoms up method. The first step is to multiply A times C. What is A times C? 2 times 18 is 36. List the factors of 36 to see what my possibilities are to use as my factors. Which two can I add or subtract to get negative 15? Negative 3, negative 12. Then I have to take A and divide it into both factors. When you divide, if you get a whole number, you leave it alone. If you divide and you do not get a whole number, that's when you bring bottoms up. 3 divided by 2 is not a whole number, so I'm going to bring bottoms up. 12 divided by 2 is a whole number, so I'll leave it alone. Those are my factors. To find the solution, I set them equal to 0 and solve for x. Set both factors equal to 0 and solve for x. So I'm going to add 3 and divide by 2. Therefore, x is 3/2. If I add 6, x is equal to 6. So those are my two solutions. Number 14, do I have a GCF?
No.
So I have to use bottoms up. I'm going to multiply A times C. 5 times 48 is what? List the factors of 240. Are there any more? $10 and $24. But I think we have the answer now. Which two can I add or subtract to get 22? Positive 30, negative 8. Then I have to take A and divide it into both factors. If I get a whole number, I leave it alone. If I don't, I have to bring bottoms up. That is the factorization. What are these solutions? Positive 8 over 5. So really, it's, once you divide here, it's the opposite. All right, we have one more type, which is a special type. Set 4 on the back. Difference of squares. This is the easy one.
Oh,
All you have to do is take the square root of both numbers, put plus and minus. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of 4 is 2. Add your plus and minus. Square root of y squared is y. Square root of 81 is 9. Plus 9 minus 9. Square root of 9x squared is 3x. Square root of 25y to the 4th is 5y squared. Plus and minus. Square root of m squared n squared is mn. Square root of 49 is 7. Plus and minus. So you just take the square root of both numbers, add your plus and minus. Set them equal to 0 and solve to find the solutions. In number 25, we have to do something else first. What's the first step?
GCF.
So what's my GCF? Then take the square root of both, add your plus and minus. All right, any questions?
No, no.
Your assignment today is homework 1 on the next page. 1 through 18. This is assignment 5.
I'll show you this Friday.